Real quick, in the post-fight press conference, if I remember correctly, you mentioned a change in camps. You actually now training out of the hit squad with big name guys like Matt Hughes and Robbie Lawler. Talk about the decision to move to the hit squad. What hindered that movement?
Well, actually, I think there was a very large miscommunication on my part, and I need to really correct that. And it was a very wrong statement for me to make. I think emotions were running high at the time, and I kind of got put on the spot. And what did happen for me at UFC 98. The biggest thing that happened for me was being back in the gym or being back in an atmosphere or an environment with Robbie Lawler, Matt Pena, and Matt Hughes.
Yeah.
That statement I made was very correct, but it was just I was making a statement based on the positive effect it had on me that week at the match.
Right.
The other statement I made about being at MFS and MFS not supporting me, I had trained with MFS previous to me being there. What I was alluding to was basically there was nobody at my match from MFS.
Right.
That's what I was upset about. Not only was I upset about it, I was upset about the fact that the guys that I train with aren't there to celebrate this big win with me. And I don't know. I think that again, I kind of got put on the spot with the question, and it is something I do need to correct because a lot of people are taking it as I'm training with Hit Squad and I trained with them for this match and I made a move and this and that. That's not what happened. Really, to be honest, my training with Pat Miletich and Champions Gym and all the guys are there is always second to none with what they bring to the table and then what I do on my own. So I can't ask for better training. But besides that, MFS, because of that statement I made, they had decided to unaffiliate me basically. So I am just looking for another place to go. I don't know where, but that was the only place I ever had any desire to train, and I've been there for 10, 11 years. But now it looks like I may be looking to go somewhere else.
Right, and that's obviously a very tough decision on your part to to kind of be ousted out of a camp that you've been a part of for so long. Do you think this maybe prompts a permanent move to the Hit Squad now?
Not particularly. I love those guys. I love Matt. I love Robbie. Obviously, Matt Pena to me, who has supported me, win or lose. He's always been a positive guy for me and a great boxing coach for me. Since I met him. I have no trouble training with those guys. Will I commit to being there? I'm not sure. That's something that maybe we would talk about, but there hasn't been any plans made or anything like that.
Right. And, actually, on a more positive note, talk about real quick, Matt Hughes spoke very highly of you in the post-fight press conference. What he implied was that he reached out to you. He called you family. He said you guys are very close. That you've been together for a long time. Just talk about real quick maybe your relationship with Matt Hughes and how it began. And obviously you must look up to him as a fighter, right?
Yeah, me and Matt Hughes actually have a kind of an awkward, I want to say like an awkward relationship. It's funny because when I met Matt Hughes, I'm a guy. When I initially started, I fought at 205.
Yeah.
I used to be a 225-pound guy. I played football. I played running back. I was a big guy. I used to power lift and just always on the weights and things like that. When I met Matt Hughes, I would give him so much shit because he's a little short guy, and I had no idea who he was.
Right.
I was working at a club where we would help set up this ring, and so Matt would show up from time to time to help set up the ring. And so I'd be like, no, we don't need any little short,
Oh, wow.
over here. And we would go back and forth, talking trash to each other. So at first, it was more a matter of like a battle of wills, because Matt, he bullshits with the best of them.
Right.
And, so we developed this kind of funny relationship, but then when we got into the gym, because I had a little amateur boxing match or a amateur MMA match, and I actually, what got me into the gym was Lee Murray came into town with Pat Miletich, and they needed him to. They were trying to find a fight for him. I fought Lee Murray. He ended up beating me by armbar in like late in the second round.
Yeah.
This is like 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago. Pat Miletich invites me to the gym. I walk into the gym. There's Matt Hughes. So Matt Hughes was like, "Oh, you're on my turf now," and the first thing he did was throw me down and submit me again and again and again and again and again. I mean, he had his way with me probably more ways than you can think of. I mean, he used me and abused me for about a month and a half. I mean, the only thing I learned in that gym for probably the first 3 months was how to tap.
Right. Oh wow. And obviously that's gonna hone your skills as a fighter to be training with a guy like Hughes, rolling around with you in the gym like that. Actually, talking about real quick his performance at 98, obviously did you actually get a chance to watch his fight?
Yeah, I did. I got a chance to watch it maybe a week later or so.
Yeah. And what did you think about his performance against Matt Serra, both former welterweight champions, both very tough guys?
I think it was a very smart match for Matt. I was a little disappointed in the headbutt situation.
Yeah.
Obviously, Matt Serra didn't mean it. He went to throw a wild punch, and he ended up headbutting Matt and set him off course. But I was glad that Matt could survive it and, show his true heart. I mean, that guy is just a champion through and through. And he really showed his true heart. He fought through it, and he won in a typical Matt Hughes fashion. Take your guy down, grind him, beat on him, hold him down, and win the match. And that's what he did. He controlled the fight his way, and I think it was a typical Hughes match.
Oh, for sure. And actually, do you think that would indicate maybe do you think Matt Hughes can still prove effective against maybe some of the top guys? He's talked about real quick. He wants the loser of Alves and GSP. Both guys very, two of the best guys in his weight class. He wants to take them on again. How effective do you think he can still be against the top tier guys?
I personally believe that if Matt Hughes woke up tomorrow and he decided he wanted that belt back, he would go get it.
Yeah.
He is a very driven individual. I've never met a person who could focus the way he can. Not only focus the way he can, but drive himself up and above, the level at which people perform. That guy is he's something else. I mean, I think that he's in a position in his life where he's very comfortable and he doesn't feel any need or want or will to do certain things like go after another championship or do things like that. I think he's already lived that out.
Yeah.
He's done it. And I think he's still looking for competitive matches. He wants that, yeah. But I don't think that he's looking for a championship or anything. But I think if he just woke up tomorrow and said, "Hey, you know what? I'm sick of this damn farming business," he would go take the title. I'll tell you what. I mean, he looked bigger than I've ever seen him at the last match.
Yeah, he looked ripped in his fight against Serra, actually.
I mean, he was put together for the last match.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think he can do whatever he wants when he wants, for the most part.
For sure. And talk about real quick. Actually, another good friend of yours, somebody I'm assuming that you trained with out of the Hit Squad, and obviously back in the days at MFS. Robbie Lawler had a big fight against Jake Shields. Came up a little bit short. What do you think went wrong for him in that fight? Do you think maybe he underestimated Jake Shields' jiu-jitsu? He is a black belt under Cesar Gracie. What do you think went wrong for him in the fight?
I really don't think anything went wrong for Robbie in the fight. I just think it's another one of those matches. You win some and you lose some, and that's how the game goes. I don't know any fighter that has walked into an arena or an octagon or any ring for that matter and won every match.
Yeah.
That's like going to the gym and always being on top. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think it's just, again, a fight's a fight. I think Robbie is definitely a championship caliber guy, and we'll see him back at that level again.
For sure. And do you think his performance that he put on, he looked very good in the beginning moments of the fight. He was able to fend off very well Jake Shields' takedown with his strength and technique, boxing from the outside, mixing it up. What do you think? going into the fight, how did you think Robbie would have performed before knowing the outcome? Did you expect a knockout finish from Robbie Lawler?
No, I think his style has changed a bit, and he's learned to compose himself more. I can see a knockout happening. Unless you spar with him or train with him, you don't really know how much power he possesses. I mean, he hits you with jabs, and it feels like a straight right. He hits you with stuff that just is so powerful. Literally, he'll hit you with a jab, and you'll think that was his rear hand.
Yeah.
And it's sick. But I don't know. I think that. I don't know, like I said, I think that he's trying to slow his pace a little bit, trying to make those fights a little longer and, have a better show. And who knows, maybe he'll go back to the old ruthless. We'll see what happens in the future. I'm not really sure.
Yeah. And